walking around, you run into old friends. We go back a long way. This man has been over sales and over racing and everything else at Keeneland over the years, and has been a good friend to me, Rogers Beasley. You've seen a few of these horse sales, Rogers. Has anything changed as far as the excitement and the anticipation?
Now, horse sales are the most fascinating business I was ever around. I mean, racing is fantastic, but horse racing, Wayne Lucas used to say it's the greatest form of poker. I mean, every time you raise somebody 20,000, somebody's raising you 20 or 50,000. It's more than the World Series of Poker, but you don't really know what's going to happen for at least a year and sometimes 2 years as to whether that was really a worthwhile bet, not in 30 seconds. It's a fascinating business, but the great thing about Keeneland is they are selling to 46, 48, maybe 50 countries. So this wide group of people every year that come here to buy the best horses in the world, we think. And Keeneland's done a great job of managing, of getting the right horses in here. They just recently had a great renovation here in the back. I'm sure you're aware of all the barns, which I think they've done a fantastic job. So it's all been good, but sales are fantastic.
Well, I was always drawn to sales early on as much as I was to the racetrack, because when you come in here, and this is in the early days, I remember when Keeneland had to add a digit up there. Remember that, when they had to put the seventh figure up there?
I can tell you all about it. I was the director of sales then, and we sold a horse for $10,200,000, and Tom Caldwell was the auctioneer, and he looked up when we got to the 10, and we couldn't do the 10, and he said, George, talking about George Swanbot, who was the original auctioneer, said, George, are you watching me now? And we got to 10-2, and afterwards Ted Bassett, who was the president, came out and pounded on the table and said, God, blankety blank, why don't we have an extra number on the board? I thought, I'll do it. And so next year we did it, and we sold one for $13 million. So there you go. But I don't think it's been used since.
Those were the glory days. I mean, honestly, it's like everything else. I don't think they'll come back again, but we just saw a 2.9 sold as we were walking down this way.
That's real money.
And, this $2 million is still real money.
It's real money. Listen, $100,000 is real money for a horse. I tell everybody, you don't think it is? Write me a check for it, okay?
$50,000 to me is real money for a horse.
It's a lot of fun, though. This is a great place.
As far as, the people are still coming, the buyers are still here, ebbs and flows, but what have you noticed about the market over the last 5-6 years, Rogers?
Well, I think what happens is that people are a lot more particular about their horses. They go through a lot more veterinarian scrutiny, as consigners will tell you. Part of that's because, and this is not a complaint on my part, but when stallions are being bred to 150, 160 mares, whatever, you've got 120 for sale. If you don't like this horse by a stallion, there's another 75 to look at. So it makes it, makes it a little tougher when you're trying to sell one like that. That's not a knock against what they're doing, because they're spreading, and great sires need to have as many horses they can outside. So it's just a noticeable difference. That's all.
And there's talk about everything, including maybe limiting some of this. I just wonder how that's going to play out. It's in the discussion. You can only have so many that you're going to be able to breed to your star stallion.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think I saw something in the TDN the other day. A fellow from the standardbred business was it TDN or the Blood Horse, or one of those things? But it was interesting. So it gave food for thought, and I'm not sure that I'm up to date enough to discuss that, but it was good food for thought.
And you still have fun coming out, obviously. Are you enjoying? Are you retired officially?
I am. I've done a little consultant work here and there, but I'm really enjoying. I go to the races, eat my hot dog, and have a cold beer or cold Diet Coke if my wife says no beer today, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
And nobody comes and says, hey, Rogers, we have a problem. Could you come back here?
I tell them, go see Jeffrey Russell up in the first office on the right past the sales counter.
What was it like when you're here, though, and it's all happening? And I know Jeffrey and Mark Morandi and all these guys are really busy right now. But, I mean, it's pretty much a nonstop week for you.
Oh, absolutely. For 2 weeks, you look at all this. This wasn't here behind you right here. This whole counter of van companies and vets, this wasn't here. We put this in, built this. I built the back walking ring back there, took out a couple barns. So none of this was here. I was in an office that was like 5 by 8 maybe, with no window, and people would just come open up the door, and they'd already be mad because either bought a horse they thought had an alleged problem, or they sold a horse that somebody was screaming about, and people would be, so I would just be waiting for the door to open for some angry person to come to the door for 2 weeks. It was a very different lifestyle.
It's always great to see you, Roger.
Good to see you, Kenny.
Thank
Best
you.
luck to you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Roger.